Okay, let's look at single bracket factorization. So when I factorize an expression, what I'm doing to it is breaking it down into its smaller and simple parts. So if I want to factorize x squared plus 6x, I've got to look at what common factors they share. And you'll find that x is common to both x squared and to 6x. So I'm going to take out an x. I'm then going to open up a bracket. Okay. Now, when it comes to deciding what goes inside the bracket, I think about what do I multiply this x by to get to this x squared. And that's going to be an x. Same again, what do I multiply x by to get to plus 6x? And that's going to be multiply it by plus 6. So what I've done there is factorize fully the expression x squared plus 6x by first taking out the thing that's common to both of those, which was x, and then think about what goes inside the bracket by thinking about what I multiply x by to get back to my starting expression. If you want to check you've done it correctly, you can then expand this bracket. So you can expand by doing x times by x, which is x squared, and x times by 6, which is plus 6x. And because these two things match up, we know we factorized correctly. Okay, let's look at the common mistakes involved in factorization. So the first thing is looking at 2x squared minus 10x and thinking, well, x is common to both, so let's take out an x and open up a bracket. So what do I multiply x by to get to 2x squared? Well, that's going to be a 2x, and x to minus 10x is going to be minus 10. Okay, but what you'll notice is by looking at this bracket, you can actually find common factors of 2x and minus 10. In other words, you can factorize this bracket even more. So while this has been correctly factorized, it's not fully factorized. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. Make sure when you're looking for common factors, you take out as much as possible, so you're fully factorizing it. Second thing, so let's start from the beginning. So what goes into 2x squared and minus 10x? Well, x goes into both, but also 2 goes into both, so I can take out a 2x. So I now open up the bracket. How do I go from 2x to 2x squared? Well, that's going to be multiplying it by x. How do I go from 2x to minus 10x? Now it is tempting to write plus 5 there, but the second common mistake is forgetting there's a negative sign here. So you have to write negative 5 rather than plus 5. So don't forget the negative sign here. And now we fully factorize that correctly. So if you expand the bracket, 2x times by x gives you 2x squared, and 2x times by minus 5 gives you minus 10x. So we know we're correct because these two things match up. So just to repeat that, the two common mistakes here, and look to avoid them, is one, make sure you fully factorize the expression, and the second thing is look out for negative signs. And the last thing I want to talk about is factorizing when algebra is involved. Okay, so let's look at these things and think about what's common to both of them, to all of them. So I'm noticing that A is common to all of those three things. I'll take out A. I'm noticing a B is common to all of those, so I'll take out B as well. Now make sure you don't write C here, because while C does appear in this bit here and this bit here, C does not appear in that expression there. So you can't take out a C because it's not common to all three of those things. So now what I'll do, as usual, is open up a bracket. Okay, so what do I multiply AB by to get to A cubed B? And that's going to be A squared. Okay, what do I multiply AB by to get to 2ABC? That's going to be a 2C. And finally, what do I multiply AB by to get to ABC squared? And that's going to be C squared. And now, if you were to expand this bracket, you would get what you started with, and it's fully factorized, because if you look inside the bracket, you can't then factorize that anymore. So that's a quick video on factorizing involving single brackets.